Hi everyone, this is Ramya, working as Assistant Professor at Karpal College of Engineering and Technology. I am going to present the topic entitled In Vivo Toxicity Studies of Nanoparticles in Zebrafish. In this presentation, I am focusing on the current advances of using zebrafish for toxicity assessment of metal and metal oxide nanoparticles. Further, I will describe the different target organ toxicities. And then one of my research articles using the zebrafish model will be emphasized. First, let's see about engineered nanoparticles. They are a wide variety of nanomaterials which are produced using diverse synthesis methods, different core materials and plenty of capping or coating agents. They exhibit diversely unique chemical, electrical, physical and optical properties based on their small size and large surface to mass ratios. ENTs may undergo physical, chemical and biological transformations when they are discharged into the environment without or with certain treatments, posing a serious threat to the environment and human health. Other studies have also shown that ENTs can enter the central nervous system through olfactory nerve, possibly leading to degenerative diseases such as behavioral abnormalities through oxidative stresses and inflammation. Coming back again, ENTs consist of metallic-based nanomaterials, quantum dots, carbon-based nanomaterials, and polymeric particulate materials in a variety of forms. Among them, metal nanoparticles and metal oxide nanoparticles account for the largest share in terms of manufacture and application. With the rapid development of nanotechnology, metal nanoparticles such as gold, silver, copper oxide, nickel, and other metal oxide nanoparticles such as zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, iron oxide are widely produced and applied in the field of construction, defense, energy, healthcare, transportation, medicine, etc. Containing ENP systems. Major components are the additives of better performances. For example, scientists are investigating biologically synthesized gold, silver and platinum nanoparticles as a treatment for cancer. Zinc oxide and titanium dioxide nanoparticles with the ability to block ultraviolet rays are commonly used as additives in various sunscreen products. Iron oxide nanoparticles and superparamagnetic iron oxide nanoparticles have been extensively used in drug delivery and magnetic resonance imaging. Meanwhile, their potential impacts and risks on the environment and human health have attracted wide attention. Metal and metal oxide nanoparticles can enter the water environment by various means such as direct discharge, waste discharge, and routine use, and they have good dispersibility and stability under the action of organic matter in water. Metal and metal oxide nanoparticles entering the aqueous environment can be enriched in aquatic organisms such as fish through the food chain. When people drink water containing these nanoparticles or eat contaminated organisms such as fish and livestock, the metal and metal oxide nanoparticles can eventually enter and accumulate in the human body, posing a threat to human health. Therefore, to evaluate the toxic risks, it is necessary to develop new tools and models that are better able to assess both exposure levels and toxicity of these nanomaterials. Nanomaterial toxicity assessments have traditionally been carried out at two levels: in vitro experiments and in vivo experiments, ranging from in vitro cell-based assays to multicellular organisms such as algae, protozoa, zooplankton, and advanced higher vertebrate models. Next is about different model organisms and uniqueness of zebrafish model to understand the toxicity. Several model organisms are being explored to understand the mechanism of various human diseases along with their genetic disorders. Frequently used organisms are yeast, Drosophila, zebrafish, mouse, a rabbit, and monkey. Drosophila are outstanding models for studying the events of genetic functions related to these common molecular machines. These models help us to understand regulatory molecular machinery such as complex of communicating proteins or a signal transduction pathway. On the other side, vertebrate model systems such as mouse, zebrafish, rabbit, monkeys are most preferred models for the human diseased state as compared to invertebrate model organisms. Vertebrate model organisms are the most complex model systems among all of them. Among the entire vertebrate models, the most widely studied is the mouse model system. However, in mouse model, some disadvantages are notable such as forward genetics is difficult. Inside the mother, embryonic manipulations and fetal experiments are complicated. The third one, developmental stages as well as life cycle is moderately time-consuming process. The next one, high cost is involved for animal breeding and developing animal house facilities. So as zebrafish offers various advantages over mouse model, it is emerging as an important model system which can connect development, disease and toxicological studies. Why zebrafish being used for toxicological studies? The zebrafish has been gained attention in recent years as animal model because of few unique set of features such as their minor size, simple to handle, low cost, extraordinary reproducibility, rapid growth, clearness of embryo, regulated and observable embryological stage, genetic flexibility and breeding perspective, and the last important point is it significantly resembles with humans at the physiological and molecular levels that makes the zebrafish at most suitable model organism for toxicological research. So this is a picture of zebrafish. A is the male one and B is the female one. We can differentiate by the presence of reddish tint along the silver longitudinal line can be visualized in male, that is A, and this reddish tint of line is absent for female, that is in B. So this is the one differentiation. The other differentiation is in B you can see extended bellies. So these bellies are absent for male. So this is how we can differentiate male and female zebrafish. This is my research paper published in Journal of Cluster Science, titled In Vivo Toxicity Assessment of Laminarin-based Silver Nanoparticles from Turbenaria ornata in Adult Zebrafish. So here the toxicological studies of biologically synthesized silver nanoparticles using laminarin polysaccharide isolated from brown seaweed named Turbenaria ornata using the zebrafish model have been emphasized. Before the experiment starts, we need to monitor certain things like test systems and water quality parameters. In the test system, we should note which species it belongs to, the strain, the sex, total length of the fish, total weight of the fish, the duration, etc. And the parameters, water quality parameters like pH, ammonia, oxygen, temperature, photoperiods, everything should be noted here. So the adult zebrafish of both sexes with an average length and average weight were chosen for the experiment. Then the fishes were nourished every day with commercially obtained feed and sustained in aquaria at a temperature of 27 plus or minus 2 degrees centigrade with 12-hour, 10-hour light dark cycle for 3 weeks, and afterwards the fishes were detached from recirculating tanks, positioned in static tanks and spotted for 24 hours previous to experimentation. So before going to dissolution of L-AGNPs and C-AGNPs, I would like to discuss about what are LAGNPs and CAGNPs. LAGNPs are laminin-based silver nanoparticles. Laminin is a polysaccharide that were extracted from marine brown algae Turbenaria ornata, and then silver nanoparticles were synthesized using this laminarin, and then they were characterized, and the size of the nanoparticles was found to be around 30 nanometers. And then coming to CAGNPs. These are commercially purchased silver nanoparticles from Sigma, and then the nanoparticle size was found to be less than 100 nanometer. Coming to dissolution of LAGNPs and CAGNPs, the suspension of both these silver nanoparticles were arranged in a particular concentration, and they were dispersed in deionized water, and then they were ultrasonicated and centrifuged for 10 minutes, and they were detected using inductively coupled plasma optical emission spectroscopy. The next is about acute toxicity of LAGNPs and CAGNPs. The experimental protocols were evaluated and permitted by Institutional Animal Ethical Committee IAEC or Satyabama Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai, with approval number. Then the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, that is OECD, guiding principles were followed for testing the sample. Here we have used OECD Guidelines 203 to attain the lethal concentrations. The fishes were acclimatized for 10 days in the test tank. The feeding was stopped 24 hours prior to the commencement of the dosing. After acclimatization, fishes were randomized into 6 groups consisting of 10 fish per group of both LAGNPs and CAGNPs. As already mentioned, we followed the OECD Guiding Principle 203 here. The fishes were arbitrarily allotted into 6 batches of 10 fishes per group, and they were sequentially rendered to every dose for 96 hours in a tank. Among the 6 groups, one was maintained as control. 5 different concentrations of silver nanoparticles of both biological synthesized laminarin silver nanoparticles, that is LAGNPs, as well as commercial silver nanoparticles at different concentrations starting from 6.25 to 100 mg per liter were shown here. The results for dissolution of LAGNPs and CAGNPs is shown here. The dissolution level of nanoparticles is affected through numerous factors comprising surface area, particle size, thickness of the particle, and surface curvature. An in vitro cellular dissolution research has revealed that high concentration of silver nanoparticles with different sizes like 10, 20, 50 and 80 nanometers may affect the dissolution as ionic silver. So in the present study, to recognize the dissolution of nanoparticles, the concentration of ionic silver were determined at 6.25, 12.5, 25, 50 and 100 mg per liter of both LAGNPs and CAGNPs. The outcome displayed that the concentration of silver ions released slowly augmented with increasing doses. The dose of silver ions dissolved from 6.25 mg to 100 mg per liter of both LAGNPs and CAGNPs were found to be of different parts per million. So this has been shown here. Even at the highest concentration, that is 100 mg per liter of LAGNPs and CAGNPs, the resulting ppm shown here is 1.14 and 1.17 ppm respectively. So some researchers deliberated that dissolved silver ions play a significant role in toxicity of silver nanoparticles. The total number of fishes dead were noted at each 12 hours of intermission, and they were detached immediately from the tank for preventing infections to other fishes. coming to results of acute toxicity of L-AGNPs and C-AGNPs, the LC50 concentration of L-AGNPs and C-AGNPs were found to be 25.22 mg per liter and 19.93 mg per liter respectively. The half of LC50 value of L-AGNP was 12.61 and this has taken as a lower concentration. And the half of C-AGNP was found to be 9.96 mg per liter and this was taken as the lower concentration of C-AGNP. So the higher concentration for both L-AGNPs and C-AGNPs was fixed at 25.22 mg per liter and 19.93 mg per liter. And these lower concentration, that is the half of these LC50 values were fixed as lower concentration and exposed to each group of 10 zebrafishes for 14 days. After the treatment period, toxicity evaluations were compared with that of control and the test groups. At the end of trial, the zebrafishes of the test group and control were further analyzed for biochemical, histological and bioaccumulation studies. And now, biochemical parameters. Antioxidant enzyme levels of liver, gill and brain were determined using superoxide dismutase SOD according to manufacturer instructions sigma. Next is catalase CAT according to Takahara et al. 1956 and then glutathione peroxidase GPS according to Rotrek et al. 1973. Next is histological analysis. After dissecting the L-AGNPs and C-AGNPs treated fishes, numerous segment slices of the liver, brain and gill tissues were fixed in 10% neutral buffered formalin. Then the samples were desiccated and embedded within paraffin. The liver, brain and gill segments of tissues were taken using microscope. The microscope slides with 5 to 6 sections per slide were prepared for each tissue sample and discolored with hematoxylin and eosin H&E stain. Tissues were then investigated and assessed for any indications of histological changes using a bright field microscopy. Now coming to the results of biochemical parameters, the SOD activity of L-AGNPs and C-AGNPs tissue samples of gills, liver and brain were observed along with that of a control. So there is a slight reduction in the activity of SOD in L-AGNPs were observed here, but a significant reduction in the activity of SOD was observed in C-AGNPs. So dose dependent decrease in SOD activities was observed in all the treated tissues of C-AGNPs were noted here. C-AGNPs revealed the indication of oxidative stress produced through reactive oxygen species, that is ROS. The accumulation of metals may lead to the formation of superoxide anions that leads to the initiation of superoxide dismutase to transform the superoxide radical to hydrogen peroxide. Superoxide dismutase catalytically scavenges superoxide radical that seems to be a significant agent of toxicity of oxygen. The efficacy of silver on the catalase in the gills, liver and brain of zebrafish were observed here for both L-AGNPs and C-AGNPs. There is no significant change in catalase level activity were observed in tissues treated with L-AGNPs. C-AGNPs was found to be considerably decreased. The catalase level was found to be considerably decreased in all the tissues compared to that of control. Glutathione peroxidase level was found to be slightly higher in L-AGNPs of gill tissue and found to be equal brain, and slightly decrease in liver. But in case of CAGNPs, the GPS level was observed to be considerably decreased in all the tissues when compared to that of control. So, from the biochemical parameters, it was observed that LAGNP's treatment has neither enhanced the production of antioxidant enzymes nor have disturbed its activity in the system. The histological variations of the liver, gill and brain tissues in response to biosynthesized LAGNPs and commercial CAGNPs were done by employing H&E stain. The observations under microscopy detected that no morphological changes were observed in both low and high test concentrations of LAGNPs compared to that of control. Histological analysis of brain tissues of CAGNPs of higher and lower concentrations were shown here with that of the control. The CAGNPs treated brain tissues showed partial damage of brain structure with focal atrophy of neurons. That is for the lower concentration, and for higher concentration, full damage of brain as well as atrophy of neurons with gliosis were also observed here. Histological analysis of LAGNPs treated fish tissues of gills shows no morphological changes. Histological analysis of gill tissues of CAGNPs were shown here. In this, at lower concentration, it has been observed that there is loss of tertiary structures, and at higher concentration, it is observed that lots of inflammation along with disorganization of lamellar were also observed. Histological analysis of LAGNPs treated fish tissues of liver shows no morphological changes. Here, the histological analysis of liver tissues of CAGNPs were shown. At lower concentration, a mild sort of inflammation were observed. At higher concentration, high inflammation with hepatocyte enlargement and hemocyte overfilling in the blood vessels were also observed. Biodistribution and quantification of silver content in fish tissues using ICP-OES method. The liver, brain and gills were dissected out from the fish and weighed, frozen and stored at -20°C prior to preparation and analysis of silver content by ICP-OES method. The tissue samples were defrosted, digested at room temperature with concentrated nitric acid for 24 hours before being heated on a digester at 100°C. The samples were then analyzed on ICP-OES. The statistical analysis were analyzed using one-way analysis of variance ANOVA followed by Tukey's multiple comparison test for comparison. The results of biodistribution and quantification of silver content in fish tissues by ICP-OES for LAGNPs was shown here. So in this ICP-OES, examinations were analyzed to measure the amount of silver content of LAGNPs that were exposed to zebrafish. Quantification of the LAGNP silver content of the gills, liver and brain of zebrafish were sacrificed after 14th day. Recognized detectable uptake of silver in gill, liver and brain, with less amount of silver accumulation in gills and brain, but more was found to be in liver. Here, the results of biodistribution and quantification of silver content in fish tissues by ICP-OES for CAGNPs were shown. So here it also stated that the accumulation of silver is more in liver followed by gills and brain. So coming to the conclusion part, the present study throws light on a relative toxicity of biologically and commercially purchased, that is chemically synthesized silver nanoparticles tested on zebrafish by routine toxicity, bioassay, biochemical parameters like SOD, CAT, GPX and histological assay. It could be concluded that commercially purchased sea AGNPs could cause risk to zebrafish. Biologically synthesized LAGNPs displays less poisonous influence when compared to chemically synthesized silver nanoparticles. The data shows that the chemical composition, particle size, shape, surface coating and modification of nanoparticles are all determinants that may give rise to toxicity. Several studies have indicated that oxidative stress and inflammation may be the underlying mechanism for the toxicity of all the metals and metal oxide nanoparticles in zebrafish. More data are still needed to study the in vivo toxicity of metals and metal oxide nanoparticles because of their wide variety. Thank you for listening to me. Stay home, stay safe and stay healthy.